Greetings, everybody, from Pawtucket, Rhode Island. It is the USL Championship tonight in the Eastern Conference as Rhode Island FC welcomes Birmingham Legion. It's presented by Ballybet, proud partner of RIFC. Alongside the coach, Eric Dobransky, I'm Sean St. Jacques, happy to be with you this evening as Rhode Island and Birmingham both try to push their way up the Eastern Conference table in the USL Championship tonight. Here's what it looks like coming into the night's action. Rhode Island clinging to that number 8 seed at the moment. Indy do have that game in hand as well. Birmingham not far behind, one game more played, but 1 point back, currently sitting in 10th on tiebreakers. And Coach, you look at the full picture there, and you look at what Rhode Island could bring to the table tonight, having beaten Birmingham in the last 3 meetings, and there's a lot to play for.
Yeah, Sean, and Rhode Island would clearly like to keep this trend going, but for Birmingham, no better time than now to flip this script. And for both teams, as we approach the midway point of the season, it's about taking games and maximizing those points, because it's dangerous to assume that results are going to come down the line, and you don't want to put yourself in a position later in the season where you have to pick up points and you have to pick up results. And somebody that's going to be important to this is Albert Dikwa.
Yeah, 2 goals and 2 assists, but of course, had the first ever Jaeger Cup hat trick last time out against Portland.
Brings that edge to this Rhode Island attack, and it's about the variety from this prolific goal scorer. He has a knack for manipulating space in and around the box, and he continues to do it with holding himself at such a high standard, and that standard begins with hard work.
On the other side of things for Birmingham Legion, it has been a year of transition. Tom Sohn let go. Eric Avila trying to hold it together, and then the big hiring of Mark Briggs, who told us earlier this week there's still a lot that needs to be changed.
There is, and Mark Briggs tasked with solidifying this team's long-term identity, and although it will take time to, what you mentioned, the ambitions are there from the jump. They are continuing to work to find that consistency, and they're developing that clarity in performances.
One thing that will help is having a bona fide goal scorer, and there are not many better in this league than Ronaldo Damas.
Absolutely, carries that pedigree of being that difference maker everywhere he has gone. A serial winner, champion at Orange County, champion at Colorado Springs Switchbacks. He does not need heavy involvement to flip the temperature of a match with a single touch. You give him a yard and he'll punish you.
It's going to be a stiff test, really, for both teams as they're trying to push their way up towards the middle of that top 8 in the Eastern Conference of the USL Championship. And on this Independence Day weekend, we're expecting a packed house here at Centerville Bank Stadium in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Kickoff in the USL Championship is coming up next.
Progress. It's what we strive for, what we sacrifice for. It's about putting in the work. Early mornings, late nights, all in the pursuit of something greater. It's what moves us forward, what unites us. Because progress is more than a goal. It's the journey, the people who stand beside us, and the right partner. Centerville Bank, the official bank of Rhode Island FC. Progress on purpose.
You may think the nicest moments happen once you've arrived at your destination. At Breeze, we think they happen all along the way.
Yeah, let me grab that for you.
That was so nice.
Whether you're kicking back in Breeze Ascent or just enjoying time together in family seating, we take creating nice moments seriously, so you're ready for the rest of the journey ahead. When it's all over, the nicest moment might just be planning your next trip. Breeze. Seriously nice.
At Ortho Rhode Island, we've built the future of orthopedic care around an important foundation, you. Our experienced surgeons and specialists offer the full spectrum of orthopedic care with leading-edge treatments and technology and a one-of-a-kind patient experience. From diagnosis to outpatient surgery, physical and occupational therapy, acute injury care, and advanced imaging, we make you the cornerstone of innovative care. To learn more or schedule an appointment, visit orthopedicsri.com.
It doesn't matter what you ride to work as long as you leave your car behind. Drive less, bike more. With the Drive Less RI app, every green trip counts. Whether you're pedaling to the office or cruising to class, log your bike trips and start earning rewards. Be a climate champion. Bike more, drive less. Download the Drive Less RI app today, because every mile matters. Visit drivelessri.com to get started.
The USL on CBS is presented by Best Western Hotels and Resorts. the official hotel partner of the United Soccer League. Now let's jump into the starting lineups presented by Ballybet Casino. We begin with Cano Smith and Rhode Island, Coach.
And continuing to develop that connection between Maxi Rodriguez and Noah Fuson. 3 goals and 1 assist between the two of them as they continue to grow that familiarity in midfield. Do we see an uptick in that sustained threat from Rhode Island?
Just 1 road win for the Legion so far this season. Here's the Mark Briggs 11 for Birmingham.
The tempo setter, Enzo Martinez. How does he impose himself on the game along with the freedom he and Lazo may provide to this front line? Tyler Pasher, how does he work with and off of Ronaldo Damas?
Quick turnaround for Birmingham as well. Played just 3 days ago, a 0-0 draw at home against the Battery, and Mark Briggs' side get us started here in this Independence Day weekend tilt between Rhode Island and the Birmingham Legion. Sean St. Jacques, the coach, Eric Dobransky, our entire crew, happy 4th of July weekend to all of you. And we are expecting a good one here in the Eastern Conference of the USL Championship. Both teams have something to prove in this game tonight as Damas takes a big whack at that, but swings through it, and an early clearance from Nodarse gets Rhode Island out of trouble inside of 30 seconds.
And that short turnaround for Birmingham, we talked to Cano Smith earlier this week, and he talked about how he wanted to see his team kind of continue to navigate the season and play, and some of the areas that he's liked to see from his team, and this is being one of them. Playing fast, regaining possession fast, having that ball pop off their foot. And that's going to be something when you're playing a team that has played in such quick succession in a midweek game. Why not? Why not be front-footed? Obviously, they already want it to be a part of their identity and their game model. Now you go out and implement it against a team that is coming off of just a few days rest, albeit they played at home, but now on the road.
And Mark Briggs took a lot of positives from that 0-0 draw against the Charleston Battery side that are as good as any in the USL Championship this season under Coach Ben Pierman's tutelage.
Yeah, you held the most potent attack in the USL Championship to 0 goals.
Yeah.
I mean, that is something to really value and take a lot of pride in. And that's where Birmingham has started to close that gap as Mark Briggs has kind of stacked performances with this Birmingham Legion side. Defensively, starting to put it all together. Now they needed to start bleeding into the attacking side and in the attacking third.
Well, we had mentioned it earlier. Rhode Island have won the 3 prior meetings with the Birmingham Legion. Last one was on May 14th, a road win, fittingly enough, for Rhode Island by a 0-0. Early 14th minute goal from Maxi Rodriguez was enough for all 3 points. And in the 3 prior games, Birmingham have scored just 1 goal. They've been outscored 6-1 in the 3 Rhode Island victories. And of course, Rhode Island are coming off that huge win over Portland Hearts at Pine in the Jägermeister Cup here. A hat-trick from Albert Dequa, the first ever Jaeger Cup hat-trick, led the way. But of course, Noah Fuson's impact is what was a real talking point after that, getting him more involved. He covered a lot of ground in that game, Cano Smith was telling us. And they kind of reverted back to what Rhode Island did at times last year. And with Maxi Rodriguez sitting back and still making an impact, Noah Fuson could get a little bit more forward and do what he does best, which is get other people involved. And of course, then he scored a goal as well. And there is Fuson stepping in, but Birmingham will regain possession in their own half.
Yeah, that's going to be of the utmost importance for both these sides because obviously both are right in that playoff hunt. Obviously, Rhode Island being right above the playoff line, Birmingham trying to pull themselves into the conversation. Obviously, you know, from week to week throughout a season, teams are going to have to navigate injuries, availability, and that's something that now you're starting to put that all together.
Tonight's keys to the game are brought to you by Flood Ford. We'd hinted at this earlier with Cano Smith's side about the pace.
Yeah, can they apply pressure as soon as they lose possession? Can they regain possession right back? And then on the ball, when they do regain possession, can they punish teams for getting dispossessed? And then for Birmingham, win the duels. I mean, we talked to Mark Briggs, not only this week, but I've talked to him in weeks prior. building that accountability piece for this group, and a lot of that starts with individual duels, and then that begins to lend itself to the collective. So when you're winning your individual duels, it starts to become a group winning duels, and then now you can start controlling the tempo and the temperature of a game.
Saw Enzo Martinez fouled there, midfield maestro for this Birmingham Legion side. On this near side for Moses Mensah, back for AJ Patterson, and clip back for Fernando Delgado, who we weren't necessarily expecting to see tonight. Matt Van Okel on the bench, and that is a giveaway here. Rio Hope Gund steps in to get the ball and then tries to pick out Joe Brito down this near side to no avail.
And a lot of positives from the start for Rhode Island right now in terms of where and when they are picking up possession. But now as this game wears on, can you fine-tune some of those actions as soon as you do regain possession? Can you find that quality, that composure, that poise to then punish and be ruthless in those moments? And that's going to be something they're going to try to key in on.
Damas under pressure. Rhode Island do win the ball back. Abdu Njai is our head official. Left-hand side of your screen, he's in green and black. And Rhode Island's long throw specialist, Clay Holstead. He's going to take this, try to get it inside the penalty area. Long throw, near side edge of the 6, it's cleared away. Damas on the spin, tries to get Birmingham off and running here in transition, and it's a lovely recovery challenge by Holstead to get Rhode Island back on the front foot. This is Karifa Yao striding ahead. Out to the far side, Jojea Quizera, forced to retreat towards the halfway line. Switch of play, Rodriguez to Rio Hope Gund. Brito, forced back for Holstead. Of course, with Grant Stoneman continuing to be out, and we're told he's out for at least a few weeks, the likes of Yao and Nodarse are going to be key in those center back positions for Cano Smith's men going forward. As Holstead with a peach of a ball for Fuson, who tries to keep it in play. And it did go out of play before Fuson got the cross going towards Dikwa. It is a goal kick for the Legion. All gives us time to tell you the New England laborers are training the workforce of today that'll build our tomorrow with state-of-the-art training facilities in Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and Connecticut. You'll be equipped with classroom and job site knowledge and a rewarding career in the construction industry. Build your future with the union that built the stadium here at Tidewater, home of RIFC. A lovely spray of a pass by Lazo out to the far side for Birmingham here. And the switch of play towards this near side forces the Legion back towards the halfway line with Mensah. Mensah again just in front of Mark Briggs on this near side, former Sac Republic coach. And it's a miscued header by Holstead. Damas was offside, and it's a free kick for Rhode Island. Well, tonight's health report is brought to you by Ortho Rhode Island, the official orthopedic partner and team physicians of RIFC. Learn more at orthopedicsri.com. We mentioned Stoneman. J.J. Williams is close, Cano Smith told us. Not quite for today. Koke Vega, still some time needed for him as this ball is feathered over the top. No Dawson McCartney for Birmingham Legion. Couple other for Rhode Island, though, that we just got a few moments before kick. No Zachary Harivo out with an injury. Amos Shapiro-Thompson as well. As Birmingham are in here, Karifa Yao with a critical last-ditch tackle to keep Birmingham out. There were a couple of those big key defensive moments in the early portions of the Portland game as well that Cano Smith had highlighted. There's another big one there.
And they've already started with tremendous tempo and pace in the way that they're pressing, in the way that they're playing on and off the ball. only add to that confidence and that energy with a play like that. Key intervention early in a match, and I know we continue to kind of talk through and talk to coaches throughout this middle portion of the season, and you kind of get a better idea of what their messaging or focus is when it comes to playoff picture and that playoff push. And I know a lot talk about that performance and performance guiding the results, but you mentioned it with the injury report and some of the players that you missed from both sides. I always think that this middle portion is such a critical portion of the season because it really defines how you have to go after results those final 10 games, especially in a season like this where you don't have the 4 games the 34 games anymore. You have 30 because of the 4 games that go to Jägermeister Cup, and obviously everybody has enjoyed the Jägermeister Cup, so that has been a tremendous addition. But you just don't have those 4 games, so now you're gonna run right into it. So you don't want to be in a position where your playoff run begins early or mid-August.
Cotto Smith echoed some of those sentiments to us. He loves the Jaeger Cup. Pretty much every coach we've talked to has had glowing reviews of the Jaeger Cup and what it's provided. These early games that just mean so much in a season are great preparation for later on. Of course, not just for the championship side. Second year of Jaeger Cup with the USL League One teams as well.
Yeah, the regional rivalries that it continues to develop. I mean,
Portland, Rhode Island's a great example of that.
Absolutely.
Second time that they had met this season. They met in the Open Cup as well. Of course, Rhode Island are still one of, if not the only team, that have gone to Portland Hearts of Pine and gotten a win this season in all competitions. It's been a very difficult place to go, and Bobby Murphy brought his Portland side here in the Jaeger Cup, and Cotto Smith's side responded with arguably their best performance of the season in all competitions to this point, and they're hoping to build on that here in the league tonight. A good clearance there from Yao and Rodriguez for Rio Hope Gund, who picks out Noah Fuson on this near side. Under pressure, and does have Maxi Rodriguez for company, who tries to switch the play, but it's just out of the reach of Sanchez. I just saw a touch there for Fanuel Kavita, a guy that's seen just about everything there is to see in his USL Championship career. It's his 250th regular season appearance. He's on the ball here, Fanuel Kavita. What a career he's had. He's been at many stops along the way in his career. Rwandan international. He's been with Birmingham now for quite some time, since 2021. His club before that, we were talking about this off-air, Coach, was St. Louis FC. Unfortunately now defunct side, and he's just had an unbelievably successful career in this league, and now 250th regular season appearance tonight.
Absolutely tremendous, and it's that saying that the best ability is availability, and I like that just from the standpoint of that it really echoes what kind of pro you are. The way that you approach your on-field preparation, but your off-the-field preparation as well, and that's something that he has always held at such a high standard. And then on top of that, you possess the quality of Kavita, and again, that's where you're at with 250, and that's how you have such a career like that. So hats off to him, and looking forward to many more appearances.
I was going to say, he's still just 32. Could have quite a few more before his great career comes to a close. Here's Karifa Yao for Rhode Island. Hope Gund infield. Rodriguez fits it through for Fuson, who is upended, and that's going to be a Rhode Island free kick.
And that spell of possession right there really encompasses the positional play that is on display for Rhode Island right now. Not only are they have the ability to interchanging, but they are putting themselves in very good areas and spaces. Now, obviously, something that they're going to want to continue to kind of sprinkle in and put in as a high rate is the ability to now break lines and penetrate in those spaces. But earn a free kick here, and right now you have to like the connectivity and the fluidity that we're seeing from the movement from Rhode Island.
A good chance for Rhode Island to deliver this into the penalty area. Rodriguez. Good height on it. Towards the back edge of the 6. Trying to pick out Albert Diqua, who's been so good in these last few matches, particularly in the air. It does bounce out of play. Looks to be a throw-in on the far side. And Clay Holstead will be there to try to launch this back inside the 18-yard box. Or maybe not, goes short, and then gets it back with his left boot to cross it. Albert Diqua not able to win the header. Brito follows up and commits a foul. And Tyler Pasher winning that free kick allows the Legion to alleviate some of the pressure here. Rhode Island FC would like to recognize their anchor partners, Breeze Airways, Capelli Sport, Centerville Bank, and Ortho Rhode Island for their support on and off the field this season.
I know from the coaching side, having to deal with a long throw throughout a 90-minute match, my goodness, it is difficult. I mean, you give up what you think is probably just a casual throw-in, and you have to deal with almost a set piece every single time. So it's always so valuable when a team can have opportunities like that, and you have a player like Clay Holstead that can launch one inside the 18-yard box. And like you just saw, you can add the variety of playing short, just like a corner. So you can move defenders any which way you would like, but when you can put somebody under pressure with a final third throw-in, it does make it very challenging to navigate.
That's another Rhode Island free kick. Well, getting to the game is easy with RIPTA's free game day bus service. Buses loop every 8 to 10 minutes between the Pawtucket Central Falls Transit Center, Centerville Bank Stadium, and the stadium's reserved parking lots. For the full list of stops, go to ripta.com/RIFC. That's a takeaway. Chance for Lazo to move this forward for Birmingham, but he's stood up by Clay Holstead. Birmingham can still pick up the pieces here. This is Moses Mensah. Nearly falls for Mensah on the give and go attempt, but it's Hope Gunn cleaning it up for Karifa Yao. Well, one of the other interesting things that Cano Smith had talked to us about was just and this has happened and come up before, it's just Albert Diqua's work rate, and really was on full display against Portland, and he's become and continues to be an example for other players in the team to follow when he puts on displays like he did in the last game. And the hope, obviously, is the expectation for Diqua is that he'll continue that, of course. Cano Smith knows that, as do we all. What is that? Can others continue to follow that example and continue to keep the work rate at a very high level like we saw the last few games?
Yeah, you don't have to say anything when you have a player like Albert Diqua that not only has the career numbers to back up what he's accomplished, but when you have a forward doing that kind of work, I mean, you fall in line and you do it right behind him because you know you're going to get some chances.
Fuson with a chance. Flashes it just wide. That's exactly where Cano Smith wants to see last year's playmaker of the season, and he wasn't far away.
And the decisions that Birmingham's going to have to make is who do you occupy it. You see Dikwa peeling out. He's occupying some space on the right side. And Noah Fuson asking some difficult questions and planting an early seed in Birmingham, that doubt where you see teams having to step out now. You see teams having to commit to getting and leaving their 18-yard box. Now does that leave Albert Dikwa? A ball slipped into Albert Dikwa or ball played in to Quizera or Brito. It opens up an array of options, and good early take from Noah Fuson.
Ooh, Delgado nearly wrong-footed there inside his own 6. And sometimes that can be a chain effect. It leads to a turnover and a giveaway back to Rhode Island.
And a prime example of when you have a player like Albert Dikwa, that central figure in attack, applying pressure, you're going to collectively climb the field. You're going to collectively occupy spaces that make it advantageous for your team to pick up the ball higher up the field. And when you do that, you're closer to the goal. And when you have that collaborative, collective mindset, you tend to find some positive opportunities. And that's something for a team that only 13 goals scored for in the season. That right there will help in that uptick.
Hope Gund does keep the ball in play, or at least he initially did. Mark Briggs didn't think so on the second attempt. And then Fuson on the spin is dispossessed. The heart of the Birmingham midfield. And then a little shirt tug from Holstead allows the Legion to get a free kick.
Craftiness of Enzo Martinez. And Holstad taking a handful of Martinez's jersey. And for right now, for Birmingham, as they continue to try to grow into this game and build some momentum, they'll take a foul like that. They'll, at midfield, slow the game down, take a little air out of the ball, earn some restarts just like this. Allows them to get numbers forward.
Throw it for Birmingham here. This is Mensah. Pasher trying to get a little 1-2. Rodriguez steps in. Fuson's touch was too firm. And Birmingham are back on it. Thiago Suarez up ahead. This is Damas. Try to assess the scene. Forced to go back. Suarez switches it for Mensah, who miscontrols it, but then gets bailed out by Hope Gund, and it's a free kick.
And that's just going to be a bit frustrating for Rhode Island, because for a team that has seemingly controlled the tempo and the pace of how this game is being played, it started with a foul at midfield, then a sideline restart, and now it's grown into a deep free kick, and you just never know. Obviously, first contact does a lot to negate what can happen here, but still put Birmingham in an area where they're going to be very opportunistic.
Abdou Njai, our referee, just making sure everything. He's staying calm inside the penalty area, and as soon as I say that, there was some pushing and shoving in there. Tabor Itaka with the set piece. Bodies flying from both sides in the area. Cleared only as far as Tyler Pasher. Canadian gets it back. A left-booted feed into the penalty area is headed centrally. That's a convincing header away by Karifa Yao. A juggle from Quizera. And it'll be shepherded out for a Birmingham throw on this near side. Well, if you're looking for help on how to pay for college, look no further than RISLA. Been helping students and families for decades. Go to risla.com to find out more today.
Now this is turning into a sustained spell of possession and or restarts for Birmingham in Rhode Island's attacking or defensive zone, and something that you're going to want to kind of redefine it and find a way to get back to playing front-footed, to back to controlling the territory and winning that ball higher up the field.
Well, we, of course, talked to Mark Briggs, the Birmingham coach, about his transition from leaving Sac Republic and now being the Birmingham coach. And we asked him about his first impressions of the team when he first kind of got around them. And he was very candid. He said there's a lot of talent, but he said hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And he said there was not as much accountability as he was hoping for. The training levels were not where he expected them to be at. He said this is going to be a long process to get the mentality to where it needs to be with this team. And he said a culture change was needed when he came in. And he says we're starting to see some of the signs that is turning in the right direction. The Charleston result is certainly a tangible moment there. Of course, the late win over Sac Republic a few games back, which of course Mark Briggs was happy about for obvious reasons, and he told us about that. But the fact that it's where it was and the fact that it's starting to turn in the right direction, certainly not a moment too soon for the Legion, who are of course still trying to get back into the top 8 in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, and those ambitions are right there. Make the playoffs, and you just never know what can happen in the playoffs. If you are running high and getting results, I mean, you look at it with Colorado Springs Switchbacks last year. I mean, they went on a run towards the end of the season. Everything was clicking, all firing on all cylinders. But what you're going to get and what we're going to continue to see from Mark Briggs and this Birmingham Legion side is the decisiveness of where they want to go and how they want to get there. You mentioned it, that identity.
Well, Birmingham are going places here. Damas is in the middle, and Damas will head it in to give Birmingham the lead. It's simply what he does in front of goal. It's Ronaldo Damas' 7th league goal of the season, and the Legion lead in Pawtucket. How about that?
And the second point I was about to make was clarity. And when you have clarity of roles, you're able to recognize when there's plays out there to be made. And this is one of those plays, and that's something, and this is a combination that the Birmingham Legion are continuing to work towards. What a breakthrough. They're in behind. And then the relentless running into that space, knowing that Stephen Turnbull was going to be right there and put it exactly where Ronaldo Damas wanted it and needed it. The timing was impeccable.
The former Rhode Island player gets the assist, played 35 games in the league for Rhode Island last year. He comes back to bite them here in Birmingham colors. And Damas, with his 7th goal of the season, nobody else for Birmingham in the league has more than 1 goal this season. He continues to come up with clutch moments. I'd say it's slightly against the run of play, but that had been slightly coming for Birmingham over these last few minutes. And what's coming there is a Thiago Suarez foul. He's been booked as well. And Rhode Island will get a free kick in a promising position.
Now let's see how Kanu Smith and Rhode Island respond to this. Now, you felt like you were in full control, and obviously you say full control, but everybody in and around this game knows that you need to score goals to feel in full control. So that was that missing piece. See that drive and earning the foul. How do you bounce back from playing front-footed, playing with the tempo that you were looking for? Now you conceded a first half goal, but there was still a lot of positives. You just hit a spell where you kind of gave a bit of that momentum to Birmingham.
Well, here's Quizera Pretty good ball in. It is headed towards the 6 by Brito. Did it take a deflection? Yes, it did. Well, Delgado and the rest of the Legion players completely misread that ricochet. And it's going to be a Chick-fil-A Attleboro corner. Remember, if Rhode Island score from a home corner this season, you can go to a Chick-fil-A Attleboro location, get a free Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich. Mark Briggs disagrees, but the call goes against Birmingham here, who could have kept the ball in. Quizera and Rodriguez discuss how this should be executed. Quizera to the near post, nearly out as far as Fuson, but it was nearly swept back up, and then eventually it is cleared for Birmingham towards the halfway line. Rodriguez re-enters it. Quizera's layoff, though, is picked off, and then he compounds his mistake by fouling the goal scorer, Damas. All gives us time to tell you to show your love for the team in yellow with a wicked good can of Sip of Sunshine IPA for Lawson's finest liquids. It's a proud sponsor of RIFC. Well, not for the first time this season in the league at home, Rhode Island is trailing again. We wait to see how they can respond again.
And obviously plenty of match left, but I would dare to say that for Rhode Island, pushing and finding that equalizer before the break feels like the utmost importance. And I know that sounds, obviously clear, because you need to find the equalizer, but before the break, just because of the tempo that you set and the confidence that you were playing with and the positional play that you were displaying, it becomes that catapulting builder that you can just launch yourself into the second half. Whereas if you go down 1-0 and you stay down that going into the second half, your sole focus is still just to get back in the game, and then you're trying to chase 3 points. Whereas if you can use this last 13 minutes and play fast and turn them over like you were early in this game, but now you add that hint of ruthlessness, you add that final action, pull this game level. Now this second half becomes wide open. And for Birmingham, do what you've been doing thus far, protecting your 18-yard box. They have not allowed that clear-cut, loud opportunity thus far. I mean, you think about the Noah Fuson chance, that being outside of the 18-yard box. So besides that, they have done a good job of minimizing some of the individual and collective threat that Rhode Island possess.
It is part of a pattern, particularly in the league, where Rhode Island have gone behind early and have not been able to rescue all of the points. Monterey Bay, they came back and got a point. Joe Brito's late equalizer months back, and Sacramento comes up. The Pittsburgh home defeat in the league as well. There have been multiple times this season where Rhode Island have gone behind early and have not been able to recover it, particularly, again, in league play. That's something where they do need to try and stem the tide, so to speak, in that particular statistic. Of course, when Rhode Island do go ahead, and this goes back to last year, they're almost unbeatable, RIFC under Cano Smith. When they go behind, they do tend to drop points. Fuson to Brito. Brito's cross is a decent one, but Suarez is there to head it away. And it will be another Chick-fil-A Attleboro corner here for Rhode Island. Well, again, Quizera will cue this up. Rodriguez to his left. And Rodriguez tries to push it past Martinez, but it's quickly taken from him and cleared away. And that is a big missed opportunity for Rhode Island. Hope gunned. This is Fuson. Not a ton in front of him to work with. Brito comes back to help. It's clever. Rodriguez past Martinez and then tries a no-look feed. It does bounce back to him. Brito caught up to by Damas, fouled by Damas, who's going to be booked here. And it's going to be another Rhode Island free kick.
Yeah, Birmingham, a couple opportunities to regain possession, just unable to control that next pass. And that's the pass that becomes the most important when you do have that chance to regain. Can you complete it? Can you get yourself out of pressure? And that's what they were unable to do, and then forced into a Ronaldo Damas challenge here out in the wide space. And anytime you feel like on the ball or in the final third, actions are sputtering out, tempo sputtering out, restarts are always something that you can lean into and make it very difficult. We saw AJ Patterson having to make a key intervention, one of those deep free kicks from Maxi Rodriguez earlier in this first half. See who makes first contact and dictates where that second and third action are played.
It will be Rodriguez, and it comes up short. But here comes Sanchez, who fired a rocket, but it goes over the top.
Yeah, not the delivery that Maxi Rodriguez was looking for, but when you put yourself in positions and you layer your free kicks, as Rhode Island just did, you do leave yourself available for a ball bouncing back out like Sanchez there. And Rhode Island has just, and obviously that bouncing ball by, that strike by Sanchez obviously was difficult in general, but Rhode Island has not been able to test this young goalkeeper, and Fernando Delgado have not forced him into a save just yet.
Brito, clever. Hold-up play here from Dequo, swarmed by Kavita, and Martinez comes in to win it back for the Legion, but it deflects back for Fuson off the clearance. Karifa Yao tries to keep Damas off of it. Sliding challenge from Rodriguez. Now Quizera. Holstead for Rodriguez. Can Rhode Island pick up the pieces here? No Darce. Gets it back from Holstead. Fuson for Quizera. Quizera probed out, he plays it out to the far side, deflected. Out for another Chick-fil-A Attleboro corner as the Rhode Island pressure now continues to build, and there's a Birmingham player down just off the field on the far side byline.
And that was a good spell by Rhode Island. The blend of forcing Birmingham into those isolated duels, but and then also capitalizing on controlling second and third actions.
Stephen Turnbull was the player down. He's back up onto his own feet for now, helping to defend this corner. And again, Rhode Island are going to take it short. Quizera looks to dig out some space. It actually slips through somehow for Nodarce, who couldn't take advantage of it. And then it's not a foul against Maxi Rodriguez. Birmingham player's incensed here. Legion player is still down. As the referee does finally bring this to a halt, Preston Tabor-Itaka is the player down. The Legion are incensed here. They thought this should have been stopped for a foul. Instead, it'll be stopped for a possible head injury here. Referee gives the signal that he thought Tabor-Itaka dived to buy the call. And Enzo Martinez and Fanuel Kavita are having none of that. Well, we get the luxury, of course, Coach, of getting a replay. Well, if anything, Tabor Itaka initiates the contact, right?
I feel like center official has the right to let this play continue, and I don't know if I would say it's a dive because obviously there was contact there, but yeah, I mean, initiated from Tabor Itaka. But this just adds to Birmingham growing in confidence and their ability to frustrate and fluster Rhode Island right now, and especially when you have a team that's coming off a midweek game. Opening exchanges really play a strong part in how the flow of the match kind of unfolds, because mentally you're looking for early success. And it's such a short turnaround. So when you can score the first goal and score in the first half and feel like you've minimized some of the scoring threat from your opponent, and you're doing it collectively, I mean, that does so much for a team right there. And you could see them battling duel after duel, getting numbers in and around the ball as soon as duels are initiated. That's going to be something that Mark Briggs and his side are going to be pleased with going to the break. But I would also dare to say that they do want to include some more quality when they do regain possession. Their ability to find that outlet, that ability to not have to suffer as much without the ball, is going to be something they're going to look for in the second half.
Dequa showing his work rate once again, wins another Chick-fil-A Attleboro corner for Rhode Island.
And continuing to be switched on and alert in some of these moments, because obviously Rhode Island is going to continue to ramp up the pressure, and they've already been solid with their ability to turn Birmingham over, to create some of those opportunities, obviously creating a corner here, but they are not going to back down.
Quizera, ooh, to the near post, headed away, and out for another corner.
And that's an area that, if you can clear that first defender, now you're putting Fernando Delgado into a position where he's got to make a play. Either him or somebody around him has to make a play on the ball.
Take two. It's an even better ball, and there was miscommunication. Damas and Delgado not on the same page, but Birmingham get it clear. Sanchez does keep it in play. No foul, says the referee there. No, Darce then comes back in to make sure that the ball wasn't sent forward by Stephen Turnbull. So it's a throw-in for the Legion there. Well, RIFC fans, grab yourself an ice-cold Pepsi Zero Sugar for the match. Zero never tasted so good. Tried to believe it. Pepsi Zero Sugar is a proud sponsor of RIFC. 2.5 minutes plus stoppage time left in the half. Sanchez cuts it out. Pasher nibbles in a challenge there. No, Darce and Holstead linking up. And then Holstead does fit it through a tight angle there for Sanchez, who is dragged down. And it's a Rhode Island free kick. Taking quickly for Rodriguez. Rio Hope Gunn shouting for it on this near side and getting it. Brito. Back for Yao. And no Darce. Still time for Rhode Island to get back on level terms before the halftime break. Quizera for Fuson. And then Fuson had no one to get it back to on that far side. Cleared away. We briefly mentioned it earlier, but it is going to be a tall task for Rhode Island. They've only gotten 1 point at home from losing positions this season. And that was the Monterey Bay draw we had referenced earlier. So if they're going to change the narrative, things like this could help. Oh, and that's a marvelous finish. That'll do the trick. That's a fantastic goal from Noah Fuson. Rhode Island are right back in it on the stroke of halftime, 1-1.
And this is all initiated by a tremendous ball play forward, and this run into the channel, the awareness to just knock this ball down and settle it for Noah Fuson, who knows exactly where and how he wants to get there. And then puts it on that coveted left foot and just buries this from outside the 18-yard box. Talk about testing a young goalkeeper. You put that traffic in front of him and you put the quality of Noah Fuson behind it.
Just come with me.
That's the equalizer they were looking for before the break.
Well, that's 2-2 in all competitions for Noah Fuson. RIFC goal presented by Capelli Sport. And we're into 2 added minutes at the end of the half with Rhode Island in a much better position. Holstead finds Cano Smith instead of Joe Brito on this near side. Oh, here's Quizera. Could this be the jolt that Rhode Island needed here at the end of the half? It's still Quizera into the penalty area. His cross for Fuson. Brito on the back heel. Rodriguez's cross, nobody there. Flicked for Quizera. Looking for Dequa. Kavita's clearance away. And all of a sudden, Rhode Island are revved up here in first half stoppage time.
And you could see Suarez having to be measured in the way he closed down Quizera because he's on a yellow.
Another challenge there. Referee says it's clean for Enzo Martinez to move forward. Rhode Island, though, repressed brilliantly and just about win it back with Holstead. Oh, but it's a foul. Well, the referee had a different look than we did. Oh, and it's a yellow card for Clay Holstead as well. Certainly not the decision that Rhode Island fans were expecting there. Oh, and there might be some more talking to here on this near side. Karifa Yao not happy about something. Moses Mensah says he may have been elbowed. We didn't see that, and we were focused on the initial interaction. Remember, the referees do not have VAR to go back and check here, so the fourth official, the assistant referees, are what the referee can use here for assistance. Again, Clay Holstead's already been booked. Birmingham thought something else untoward had happened away from the play. We did not see that. Well, like we said earlier, we get the luxury of another look.
Again, Rhode Island feeling like this play should have been allowed to continue, and not only was it called back, but given a yellow card as we see the other play at the bottom of the screen. Rio Hope Gunn and Mensah.
Oh, Yao just said something to Mensah. That was about it. Mensah didn't want Rio Hope Gunn to control where the ball was going to be placed. And then it's clipped in. Nodarse's header is well placed. Brito's header over the top and out of play as the half ends in Pawtucket. I'll talk about a flurry at the end of the half from Rhode Island. They certainly click back into gear, and they get the critical equalizer after Damas had opened the scoring from Noah Fuson, and it's 1-1 coach at the half.
Yeah, for Rhode Island, they went back to winning second and third phases. You saw the tempo and the momentum shift towards Birmingham when that kind of got away from them. They got it back. They started to control the momentum. They got the equalizer. Now game on for Birmingham. First ball press. Their ability to control, manipulate, and make next pass predictable defensively is going to be key for Mark Briggs' side, because we've seen what they can do and how punishing they can be when they defend collectively and collaboratively. They can go at you.
Really good stuff from Birmingham to begin the match, but what a response from Rhode Island in the dying embers of the first half here. Damas's goal canceled out by Noah Fuson, and it's 1-1 at the break. We'll have more from around the USL Championship when we come back.
Progress. It's what we strive for, what we sacrifice for. It's about putting in the work. Early mornings, late nights, all in the pursuit of something greater. It's what moves us forward, what unites us. Because progress is more than a goal. It's the journey, the people who stand beside us, and the right partner. Centerville Bank, the official bank of Rhode Island FC. Progress on purpose.
At Ortho Rhode Island, we've built the future of orthopedic care around an important foundation, you. Our experienced surgeons and specialists offer the full spectrum of orthopedic care with leading-edge treatments and technology and a one-of-a-kind patient experience. From diagnosis to outpatient surgery, physical and occupational therapy, acute injury care, and advanced imaging, we make you the cornerstone of innovative care. To learn more or schedule an appointment, visit orthopedicsri.com.
You may think the nicest moments happen once you've arrived at your destination. At Breeze, we think they happen all along the way.
Yeah, let me grab that for you.
That was so nice.
Whether you're kicking back in Breeze Ascent or just enjoying time together in family seating, we take creating nice moments seriously, so you're ready for the rest of the journey ahead. When it's all over, the nicest moment might just be planning your next trip. Breeze. Seriously nice.
It doesn't matter what you ride to work as long as you leave your car behind. Drive less, bike more. With the Drive Less RI app, every green trip counts. Whether you're pedaling to the office or cruising to class, log your bike trips and start earning rewards. Be a climate champion. Bike more, drive less. Download the Drive Less RI app today, because every mile matters. Visit drivelessri.com to get started.
Halftime in Pawtucket, Rhode Island. It is Rhode Island 1, Birmingham 1 at the half in the USL Championship and this Independence Day weekend. And we are going to get to the second half in just a few moments. But first, these fans are the winners of the Seriously Nice seat upgrade, courtesy of Breeze Airways. Each match, Breeze Airways upgrades lucky fans to a premium matchday experience. Breeze Airways is a proud partner of Rhode Island FC. More from the league coming up in a moment, but first, the weekly awards from around the USL Championship.
Even look up to the box. This one's layered forward for Goodrum, and Goodrum takes the lead.
To stoppage time we go. Gaines sends the cross in. Fernando heads home at the back post. The Kings of Chaos strike again.
Torres, what a ball in, slotted toward goal. It's in.
Close ends up points from anyway. Mercy Paxton, here he goes.
Bakura steps through, slots the shot. We're level at 1.
The bleachers here about a minute ago.
Ball driven in, short. It's loose. What a stop made again by Herrera. And he collects it.
Mary. Right hand side, gets it back to Chip. He scores! Matias Romero going top shelf early in the second half. Miami breaks it open 1-0.
This week on USL All Access, is it really possible that an end-of-year meeting in 2019 helped shape and shift the entire championship transfer market? Head coach Ben Pierman of the Charleston Battery joins us to say, yes, we got Jägermeister Cup action for you. Mike and I break down the groups as they approach their final match day in this interleague tournament, and the USL Championship takes the national stage. Multiple games on CBS Sports Network this week. We'll break them down for you.
Wait, come back! Wait, come back, I need more help.
Take a love affair. Take a love for free.
Today we went to the beach, and it was totally worth it. Stay 3 nights this summer at Best Western and get $50 off a future stay.
Whoa, termites can eat a pound of wood a day. 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 What's wrong, Daddy? Daddy? You okay?
Keep termites out of your home and your head with our premium guarantee that covers up to $250,000 in new termite damage. Before panic shows up, Terminix it.
The back off the goal kick, Williams! And Molina in the box, keeper's out, he scores!
Today, we accomplished nothing. I mean it, not a thing. And it was kinda everything. Stay 3 nights this summer at Best Western and get $50 off a future stay.
Rhode Island, are you ready? Rhode Island FC's brand new home, Centreville Bank Stadium, is waiting for you. Don't miss out on any of the action this season, as the Ocean State's very own look to defend their Eastern Conference title. Tickets are available now, starting as low as $16.36 per game. Scan the QR code to secure your seat today.
Halftime in Rhode Island. Sean St. Jacques, Eric Dobransky, your entire crew. Happy to have you with us on this 4th of July weekend till 1-1 between RIFC and Birmingham in the Eastern Conference of the USL Championship. Second half coming up in just a moment, but first we look around the rest of the league in the USL Championship presented by Best Western Hotels and Resorts. Of course, Oakland announcing a long-term extension to the club's training facility. The former Oakland Raiders headquarters coach, of course, that's a big deal, but of course a pair of Jaeger Cup hat tricks stole the show last time out in the Cup competition.
Yeah, we're seeing the work rate continue for Albert Dequa, obviously the hat trick in the Jägermeister Cup, and for Rhode Island side that is unbeaten in the Jägermeister Cup, so still a ton to play for from them. And you mentioned the Oakland Roots, their facility. Obviously the big news of securing the Coliseum was already a huge step. Now this just continues to add to what this organization continues to try to do.
And as if the Battery didn't need any more ammunition, Jeremy Kelly signed to a multi-year contract coming over from English League One club Crawley Town. So the rich get richer, as they say, for Ben Pierman and the Charleston Battery, looking to build on what's already been a very strong beginning to their regular season. Lots to look forward to around the USL Championship coming up. We have some scores here from yesterday. Which result kind of stands out to you here, Coach, from the 4 that were played last night?
Pittsburgh Riverhounds picking up a massive win at Highmark over New Mexico United. Obviously, the West is just up for grabs. I mean, the West, his 3 points just can flip the standings, but Pittsburgh was in such need of consistency and stability with their results. Obviously, San Antonio taking down El Paso. El Paso still being a top 4 team, but that's a big result for San Antonio. And then obviously Lexington from their opening win of the season. Now they've kind of put a couple in a row.
Yeah, that feels big for Lexington. We'll see if they'll be able to keep it up. And the champs, the Switchbacks, in need of a bit of a bounce back there as well. We've been keeping an eye on some of these other scores, of course. Look at Sacramento, of course, the other night beating Vegas by 2-0. Tulsa leading in Miami. That'd be another big result for Luke Spencer's side. Indy up against Monterey Bay.
Yeah, and for Sacramento Republic, almost scripted it the same way they came into Rhode Island and got a result, 2 second-half goals. Felt like they were stacking momentum and really building into that performance. So good result for Neil Collins.
Of course, our game tonight here is on CBS Sports Golazo Network. There'll be another one later on tonight, a double dip. on CBS Sports Golazo Network. Oakland taking on Detroit. And then in July, a lot of Golazo games. Sacramento, El Paso, Hartford against the Rowdies. And then CBS Sports Network gets a few as well. Charleston and North Carolina certainly stand out there.
I was going to say, depending on where we are in just a few weeks in the Eastern Conference, I mean, that Charleston-North Carolina match is going to be a huge match. I mean, North Carolina beating Lou City for the first time this season, Lou City dropping points. That's huge for North Carolina.
And if Pittsburgh keep climbing up the table as well, that Loudoun game, July 13th, also on CBS Sports Network, will be one to circle. Carolina hosting Indy later in the month, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, July 18th. That's also on CBS Sports Golazo Network. So a ton of action to look forward to as the month of July heats up. Got a big second half coming up here between Rhode Island and Birmingham. We'll have highlights, stats, and the second half kick coming up next.
At Ortho Rhode Island, we've built the future of orthopedic care around an important foundation: you. Our experienced surgeons and specialists offer the full spectrum of orthopedic care with leading-edge treatments and technology and a one-of-a-kind patient experience. From diagnosis to outpatient surgery, physical and occupational therapy, acute injury care, and advanced imaging, we make you the cornerstone of innovative care. To learn more or schedule an appointment, visit orthopedicsri.com.
It doesn't matter what you ride to work as long as you leave your car behind. Drive less, bike more. With the Drive Less RI app, every green trip counts. Whether you're pedaling to the office or cruising to class, log your bike trips and start earning rewards. Be a climate champion. Bike more, drive less. Download the Drive Less RI app today, because every mile matters. Visit drivelessri.com to get started.
You may think the nicest moments happen once you've arrived at your destination. At Breeze, we think they happen all along the way.
Yeah, let me grab that for you.
That was so nice.
Whether you're kicking back in Breeze Ascent or just enjoying time together in family seating, we take creating nice moments seriously, so you're ready for the rest of the journey ahead. When it's all over, the nicest moment might just be planning your next trip. Breeze. Seriously nice.
Progress. It's what we strive for, what we sacrifice for. It's about putting in the work. Early mornings, late nights, all in the pursuit of something greater. It's what moves us forward, what unites us. Because progress is more than a goal. It's the journey, the people who stand beside us, and the right partner. Centerville Bank, the official bank of Rhode Island FC. Progress on purpose.
The USL on CBS is presented by Best Western Hotels and Resorts, the official hotel partner of the United Soccer League. Well, Sean and Eric along, and they got their reward.
Yeah, overall, it was an electric start from Rhode Island in terms of the way they were able to regain possession, play off the ball. But it was the defensive posture for Birmingham that led into how they grew into this match offensively, and we see it with this outlet to Stephen Turnbull, and then winning his duel in that wide space, getting into that area, and then a terrific ball into Ronaldo Damas, who knows exactly what to do in that position when a ball is served in like that. But credit to Rhode Island. They picked up the pieces. They made sure that they stayed at the tempo they were playing at. Obviously, started to influence at a higher and more consistent rate those second and third actions, and you see it right there. That great ball played in, then the layoff to Noah Fuson, puts it on that left foot and just buries it from outside the 18-yard box. And a crucial equalizer for a team that had to go into the break feeling like they had played some good football.
Will that be a turning point in this game going into the start of the second half? Fuson's goal in the Jaeger Cup followed up with a goal here in the league. This has become a bit of a trend for Rhode Island at the start of halves. A kick into the Birmingham end by Clay Holstead. And that is where the Legion will begin the second half here in Pawtucket. Sean St. Jacques, Eric Dobransky, our entire crew, happy to have you with us. Hope you're enjoying your 4th of July weekend. And we have been told that it is a sellout here at Centerville Bank Stadium. The crowd certainly went nuts when Noah Fuson equalized at the end of the first half. And it's anyone's game with a big second 45 still to play out. Birmingham trying to get their first ever win over Rhode Island. Lost 3 in a row. Coming into this game tonight against Cano Smith's side. And companies, this is clipped over the top, and Rio Hope Gunn tried to clean that up nicely. He did initially, and then Fuson helps him out by winning the ball back. He was held back. It's a Rhode Island free kick. And it will be a yellow card as well from our referee Abdu Njai.
And we've seen this from both teams from opening kick. The concern and the intent on making sure that neither one of them has an upper hand when it comes to transition and counterattacking. They know that obviously as long as you're not sitting on a yellow, you have to make a play like that. If you're getting turned around and you're now giving that space going forward up, wrap your arms around them, take a bit of the jersey, especially in that middle third of the field where you're not necessarily going to incur a lot of danger going into the box and creating an attacking opportunity for the opponent, but something that we've seen a lot from both these sides, the ability to slow down each other with some of these fouls.
Fuson's pressure. As Fernando Delgado has had a bit of a shaky evening to this point, he's able to get there. Well, the USL on CBS kicks off July with a big showdown in the Championship Eastern Conference. Last season's final runner-up, of course, Rhode Island, welcoming Derby rivals Hartford Athletics. Saturday, July 19th, 4 p.m. Eastern on CBS. El Clamico, I'm told, is what the kids are calling that. I think the fans actually came up with that one. And of course, that's the first of back-to-back derbies for Rhode Island and Hartford. They play in the Jaeger Cup the week after that to decide who goes through. Like we said at halftime, a lot of big games to come in the month of July. Turnbull, former Rhode Island player, eventually gets that pass to get to Pasher. Glides forward for Birmingham, then plays it square towards this far sideline and essentially stops Birmingham in their tracks for the moment, but Rhode Island do sit off of the Legion here. And that allows Enzo Martinez and company to get involved in the attack. Lazo, who was booked just a moment ago, switches it over to this near side for Turnbull. Down the line for Pasher. Damas. It's played back for Pasher. Martinez nowhere to go with it. Plays it all the way back for Kavita. We saw really good moments from Mark Briggs' side in that first half. Do try to play through, but it is Sanchez who picks it back up for the hosts.
We've just seen some of these passes get a bit away from Birmingham. Some kind of routine that have either skipped away or been just out of reach of their teammates. And I know there's always an adjustment when you're playing away to whether it's artificial turf, regular grass. I mean, you're always going to be adjusting to the surface regardless. When you're on the road, that's a part of it. But they're just missing, and once they can start kind of connecting those outlets and initiate it going forward, you have to feel like they're going to building some of that momentum that they want to build. And you mentioned that first half, that segment of 5 to 10 minutes in the middle of the first half, kind of took control, and that's when they took advantage and scored their goal. And for both these teams, you got to believe there was two different narratives. Birmingham, good defensively. Can they now make it an attack?
Oh, and Fanwell Kavita's come up here with an injury for Birmingham. Oh. For those just joining us, Kavita's making his 250th regular season appearance tonight and may have just pulled up with an injury that may end his night here.
You could see it right there, that left leg. It's been such, I was just talking about them structurally, defensively, and that he's been such an important piece to that continuity that quality on both sides of the ball. Being that ball winner, being the organizer, but also being that playmaker from those deeper areas. And you could see right away they were asking for a sub. And
well, you can't help but feel for Fanuel Kavita here, and it looks like Jake Roof is going to come on. You see even the Rhode Island players checking in on him. Well, you never wish that on anybody, but particularly someone making a milestone appearance here tonight, someone who's been a massive part of this league. But that is unfortunately going to be the end of the night for Fanuel Kavita, and we hope it is nothing too serious moving forward.
Yeah, that's your next thought. Obviously, his night tonight is done, but you just hope for every player that the turnaround time is, and the length of time that he is out is not significant, but he definitely looks to be in quite a bit of pain and discomfort.
Well, Jake Roof will have to take it from here for the Legion, as Fanuel Kavita will get assessed further. And Rhode Island do the sporting thing. They give it right back to Birmingham on this near side, and the Legion will get a throw to get us back underway. Just off camera, by the way, even Cano Smith just gave Fanuel Kavita a big hug and wished him the best. He's just so well respected for all the time, the effort, and the impact that he has had. One of the milestone men in this league, and again, we just wish him the best moving forward. Pressure there from Rhode Island. Noah Fuson hits it out of play. It is a Birmingham throw. So Ronaldo Damas's goal canceled out by a Noah Fuson equalizer. That's where we stand at the moment. And then Rhode Island continuing to try to put pressure on here. It's going to be a Birmingham free kick. So, High Noon's quality is second to none, formulated with real spirits, juice, iced tea, no added sugar, and natural flavors. High Noon is the perfect drink for any occasion. As Fernando Delgado will come forward to take this. The Mexican international, just his third appearance in the league for Birmingham this season. Did play once in the Open Cup. He's played the Jaeger Cup games as well, the 18-year-old. But he's had a little bit of a tough go at times tonight for the Legion. Might be called upon here. Suarez with Quizera behind him. And this time Delgado does read it perfectly. Turnbull under pressure. Sends it upfield for Pasher, who stayed onside.
And obviously when you have a young goalkeeper making a start on the road, there is trust and belief, because you're not going to put a young goalkeeper out there that's not prepared. And so obviously there is a lot to offer from Fernando Delgado. But now off the ball defensively, you've seen how stingy Birmingham has been. They have protected that 18-yard box very well. And they have limited some of the big chances that Rhode Island's been able to create.
Quizera out-muscled by Thiago Suarez, who then had something to say to Quizera about it. Quizera takes exception to it. That's right by where the Rhode Island subs are warming up as well. They did not like that. That Thiago Suarez, well, maybe taunt is a strong word, but he certainly said something to Quizera in the heat of the battle that he took exception to there.
And again, has to be careful because he is on a yellow card. So obviously his not picked up the second yellow here, but there's no question that you are in the front of the mind of the center official now. Everything, tackle, play, you've got to be spot on, and you still have plenty of game left.
There was a little bit of a push from Suarez. Not saying the referee should have called that, but then to compound that with a bit of a taunt, at the very least a little bit of trash talking, I think is why Quizera took exception to that, and obviously his teammates did as well. They're always going to have his back. Well, that's another challenge there. Rodriguez, he's going to be booked. No hesitation from Abdou Njai, and now Rhode Island aren't thrilled.
Stephen Turnbull, the man with the assist in this game. So clever, knowing to get this touch on it right here. Puts Maxi Rodriguez in a position where not only does he commit the foul, but puts Maxi Rodriguez on a yellow card.
Tyler Pasher will deliver here as Birmingham try to retake the lead. Couple of testy moments in these last few minutes of play. Two teams trying to fight their way up the Eastern Conference table. Pasher's ball and is really well placed. Oh, great save. Jackson Lee to the rescue for Rhode Island on the doorstep. Birmingham really executed that set piece well, but Jackson Lee wipes it out.
Fantastic play from Jackson Lee.
Damas gets onto the ball here for Birmingham and then wasn't on the same page with any of his teammates, and it rolls harmlessly to Jackson Lee. That's a huge missed opportunity. And Rhode Island get the ball back. No, Darce clipping it. Suarez is there. Fuson tries to pick up the pieces here. Quizera. Be a chance here for Rhode Island. Brito. Rio Hope Gund assessing the scene. There's time and space for Halstead. Quizera switches it for Sanchez. And then Quizera, lovely ball into the penalty area on this near side. Sanchez couldn't control it and then commits a foul.
And that man, Stephen Turnbull, in the mix again against his former side.
Maven's Deli, of course, has their corned beef on rye, their kugels. And they always play to win with favors and flavors that score every time. Approaching the hour mark here, Independence Day weekend. Sean St. Jacques, Eric Dobransky, our entire crew. We've been keeping an eye on that live table. As it stands right now, Rhode Island and Birmingham trying to push their way back into the top 8 if it holds. And Miami's playing at the moment as well, trying to battle back as we speak in their game against Tulsa. Big points out there to be had, even at this juncture of the regular season. Half an hour of normal time left.
And then when you look at a Pittsburgh Riverhound side that picks up a massive 3 points against a New Mexico United side who are setting the pace in the West, and now a Pittsburgh side that has won 4 out of the last 5. That puts some pressure on teams in and around above you, below you, to start picking up some results. And you have that ability to play for a draw or pick up all 3 points, and it's going to be something that kind of see as this game progresses, how each of these teams apply that and what they're looking for from this match, because I would dare to say coming away with nothing would be not devastating, but hurtful in a sense, just to make sure that you're always picking up what's available.
Especially for two teams that still need a league spark to propel them on in this Eastern Conference playoff chase. Ooh, Dikwa. Nudge that forward. And then Brito is fouled. This is going to be brought back. Free kick for Rhode Island.
And does that Jackson Lee save spark this Rhode Island side? Because we saw it in the first half. It started with a casual free kick given at midfield for Birmingham. Then it led to a throw-in deep in the defensive zone in Rhode Island for Birmingham. Then a free kick. And then you look at it, you're down 1-0. Obviously, the goal coming off of a counterattack. You win possession, you go forward really quickly. But you almost felt like it was building. And then that save from Jackson Lee, you absorb that warning shot. You take it. Now the rest of the team's like, okay, let's really fine-tune some of these areas that we need to find that goal and reward ourselves for what we've been doing.
Big free kick here for Rhode Island, trying to regain the lead. Fuson, it comes up short. Oh, and it squeaks through, but Rhode Island can't take advantage of it. And Turnbull's clearance is picked off by Maxi Rodriguez, who's quickly dispossessed. Damas looks to stride forward for the Legion, doesn't have much help, and he is dispossessed fairly as well. Holstead has it for the hosts. Rhode Island are preparing a change. We'll get to that in a moment. Here's Fuson laying it off for Rio Hope Guns.
That was good collective defending from Rhode Island. The down press for Maxi Rodriguez and Clay Holstad in right there for his teammate, because both those players sitting on yellow cards as well, and that's going to be something where you don't want to have to make a play and possibly foul a player like Ronaldo Damas, who's so explosive when he sees space in front of him.
Suarez down this near side, and Nodarse's header is right where it needs to be for Jackson Lee. Holstead clipping it forward, and Suarez is there. It's a Rhode Island throw on this near side, and the referee acknowledges that Rhode Island want to make a change here. Joe Brito is going to make way, and Mark Ibarra will take his place. That is the first Rhode Island change of the night.
And I think what will be fascinating to see as we see this game approach that 20-minute mark left is, what does Birmingham have left? The legs and mentality from that midweek match.
Quizera, too much on it for Sanchez.
Staying sharp in a match that is asking and challenging them in a variety of different ways. And right now has been up to the test. 65 minutes in, you've absorbed and defended some of those big moments that you've had to, and then obviously capitalized in the transition moment. Only the one shot on target, obviously that being the goal. Actually, sorry, 2 shots on target, one of them being the goal because Jackson Lee just made that big save. But have to feel like there's one more quality chance out there for you if you can continue to stay locked in.
A long ball down this far side. It's kept in play. The Legion looking to move this forward. Lovely little dink between the legs of Hope Gunn, but he recovers well. And Rodriguez is there to support and clear the ball upfield. Birmingham build again. Enzo Martinez tries a cheeky little flick. I think the offside flag may have gone up, but it falls kindly for Ronaldo Damas, who scores. but the offside flag eventually does go up. And despite a marvelous finish, it's going to be wiped out.
Thought that Martinez obviously continues to leave it, and just a step too early. And again, I give a lot of credit to Rhode Island in that situation. Obviously, you can hold your run, you can do a lot of different things offensively, but when you can collectively be deceptive enough to take that subtle step forward and put your opponent offside, especially in a moment like that where it's just so bang bang and so quick.
I think both players involved there were in an offside position, just like you said, Coach, a step too early. And then Enzo Martinez commits a foul here. Referee gives him a warning before giving him a potential yellow card. It'll be another Rhode Island set piece here. One for Maxi Rodriguez to deliver. Does have Sanchez to his left if he wants to play it short into a build-up. He'll clip it towards the area and right at Delgado. Well, do you have a game plan to pay for college? If not, check in with RISLA, a local expert on preparing, planning, and paying for college, RISLA.com, to find out more. It does feel like both teams have been a little wasteful at times with set-piece opportunities,
I was just about to say,
Coach.
yep, that's a great point, and I think that's, now, I think they've made up for some of those services with their opportunistic viewpoint in positioning and second and third waves. They've been able to pick up some of those balls. We saw it with Birmingham just a few moments ago.
Holsted's ball into the middle, over Fusson's head, Pasher controls, and then gives it away to Maxi Rodriguez, and it nearly slides through kindly, but Dikwa could not quite corral it. And then Delgado outlets for Suarez, who is under pressure. Back for Delgado. Clips it onto this near side for Turnbull, who's forced to come back and get it. Birmingham do eventually clear it, but Rhode Island get possession through Karifa Yao. Just over 20 minutes plus stoppage time left. Sanchez. Quizera. Lovely triangular passing here, and then the sliding challenge on Sanchez is clean. Rhode Island throw. Taken quickly here onto this near side. Ibarra miscontrols it. Fusson tries to get back for Rhode Island, so does Rio Hope Gunn, none able to do so. Birmingham play through beautifully. Pasher in behind for Damas, well read by Jackson Lee, well off his line. Boy, for a split second there, you thought Birmingham were in 1v1. Now Turnbull. Little back heel for Preston Tabor Itaka, who is dispossessed. Quizera miscontrols it, and Martinez cannot save it.
And I know a play like that looks so routine from Jackson Lee, but there is a lot that goes into that, because that was going to be a scary situation when you have Ronaldo Damas going onto a ball into space. You have to anticipate that. You have to be involved in the play, and it's a split second. It's coming off of when your team is in possession. So the rest defense has been something that Rhode Island continues to develop, grow, be solid at, and that's where you give a lot of credit to Jackson Lee again for reading the game and being prepared for that play.
Here comes a Rhode Island change here. Ame Mabika, he's going to come in, and that will be it for Rio Hope Gunn. And presumably Frank Nodarse would slide into Hope Gunn's position, and Mabika would pair up as a center back with Karifa Yao.
is number 6, Jaime Mojica.
And Birmingham are going to make a change here as well. Danny Trejo. He's going to come in. Many remember his exploits with Phoenix Rising a few years back on that championship-winning Juan Guerra side. He is in and will replace Preston Tabor Itaka for the remainder. That's been one of the things with Birmingham. How do Trejo and Damas kind of fit together? That's been a big talking point over both of the coaching regimes this season. Well, we get another chance to see them run out there here tonight. And immediately Pasher tries to bring the ball forward. He was too firm with his touch. Suarez follows up and resets for Birmingham Legion here.
And then you add a player like that into that conversation as well, Tyler Pasher.
Yeah.
I mean, you have 3 players on this Birmingham Legion side that have been menaces to opponents throughout their career.
And here is Pasher being a menace, but the shot is saved by Lee off the post. And then just in the nick of time, Mabika clears it away, so there was no follow-up. Rhode Island dodge a huge moment there. Pasher unlucky.
The composure there from both players, because Tyler Pasher knows exactly where he wants to go. He's clinical in his thoughts. But Jackson Lee, who has already come up with a big save and an intervention with that ball played into space as well, picks up another big save.
From the short corner, it's Enzo Martinez, who of course always has the wand at the ready. He's a whisker away from, at the very least, forcing a save out of Lee.
Now that was a play right there that you almost felt like Jackson Lee was a passenger, because he was stuck on his line. I think he had trouble reading this through all the traffic and the shape, or he had it read all the way knowing that it was going over the crossbar, so either one of the two. But that was a well-shaped ball that if it was bound for goal, that was going to be a problem.
Well, if there's anybody in this Birmingham team that you don't want to see get time and space as an opponent, it's Martinez. And Fuson, was he tripped up here inside the area? Referee points at the ball, says it's a fair challenge. Rhode Island throw just to the right of the corner flag. We're starting to get to the point where every little challenge, even like that, is being contested by both sides. Rhode Island preparing another long throw here from Clay Holstead. Trejo tries to put him off. No, Darcy's header is squashed, and then it's cleared away by Martinez. Mabika's header. Ibarra helps it along. Holstead backtracks, and Ibarra's there to help. Rodriguez has time and space. Clips it towards the byline. Holstead flashes it across. Well held by Delgado.
I know we touched on some of the nervy moments from Fernando Delgado, which obviously is expected from a goalkeeper. But I would say that he's handled the last 10-15 minutes very well, because, and I would dare to say he's got to the rest of the way, because Rhode Island is going to continue to throw clipped balls, services in the box. Obviously the long throw from Clay Holstead, because the point that I was just making with Birmingham a few moments ago about just wanting one more quality look. With 15 minutes left, that's what Rhode Island is looking for. You don't need that loud quantity. You just need the quality look, and you need to convert it.
Whether you're headed to school, work, or game day, RIPTA gets you there. Statewide service and easy trip planning. Transit's never been simpler. Go to RIPTA.com to plan your ride today. Trejo, nearly a perfect ball in behind for Damas, but again, Jackson Lee does really well off his line and clears it away.
You've already seen that spark that Danny Trejo has brought this side. Ability to drop in, work in front of the defenders, occupy that attention. And seeing the freedom that it's allowed Tyler Pasher here early on.
Miami have equalized in their game, by the way, against FC Tulsa. So if both results hold, as this is going to be a foul here against Birmingham, Rhode Island and Birmingham would end the night out of the playoff spots. Birmingham already knew that if they didn't get a win here, that they would be in that spot. Rhode Island were in 8th. Coming into the night, they would drop to 9th if they cannot find a winner here, and that result stays the same in South Florida.
And what I will go back to when we talk about the standings, and you brought up a great point, is you're not going to necessarily define the outlook of your playoff picture, but that top 4, that conversation is going to start to distance itself from teams as they prolong not picking up 3 points. So you don't put yourself in a position where you're not going to make the playoffs and you still have plenty of season left. But what you are going to do is put that top 4 position out of reach.
Just to piggyback off that point, Coach, 4th place right now is occupied by North Carolina. They're on 23 points, and they currently have 2 games in hand on Rhode Island and many of the rest of the field. But here's Quizera, clipping it back across, and the header is skied up in the air by Dequa, back in by Holstead, headed away again by Birmingham. A 3rd try for Fuson, who did get his boot to it but could not put it on target. And this time it's Birmingham who survive.
And this is what you're going to continue to see as this game ticks away, is relentless pressure, relentless bodies flooding the box for Rhode Island. Because they don't need it to look a certain way. They just need to see the ball hit the back of the net.
Cano Smith's going to make a change here. That's it for Maxi Rodriguez for the night. Danny Rovira, he's going to come in to try to help the Rhode Island cause in these last 12 minutes and change. There's a player down for the Legion inside their own 18-yard box at the moment. The training staff will come back out.
Danny Rovira, a player that brings versatility, continues to bring that versatility to this Rhode Island side. Gives them a different look now here. With 10 minutes left, gives you plenty of time to apply and execute that different look.
Moses Mensah, he's back up onto his feet. Did look like that Mark Briggs was preparing a change or two on this near side.
And that's where that midweek fixture kind of plays itself into this game, because you see a sideline with Mark Briggs in Birmingham. Are they just managing to see this game out for 10 minutes? Whereas for Rhode Island and Cano Smith, they're managing to go after this game and possibly pick up all 3, obviously, albeit they're at home. So you hear Coach week after week across the league, coaches talk about wanting to be more aggressive at home and needing to control the tempo. But with that midweek game and only a couple days in between, having to rotate a bit here.
Yeah, 2 changes. Moses Mensah and Ronaldo Damas are out for Birmingham. Eric Centeno and Sebastian Tregarthen are in for the Legion. And that leaves Mark Briggs with just 1 change left.
It's a standing room only sellout. 10,734.
They just announced a sellout inside Centerville Bank Stadium. 10,734. And they're going to see some fireworks at the end of the game. After the game's over, they're hoping for some late fireworks during the game in the latter stages as well.
And they don't have to look too far to see something like that with that result against North Carolina FC here at home. That late penalty earned.
Oh, the Legion could have some numbers here up the other end. No, Darcy tries to recover. This is Danny Trejo. Pasher. Steven Turnbull's the man over. And his cross is blocked out of play for a corner by the recovering Ame Mabika.
A great response from Birmingham. Ability to go down the field, earn a corner kick here late. Take your time, get the structure, get how you want to attack this set piece. And obviously with the sense as well to counteract any sort of transition that Rhode Island may create. But you want to go attack-minded first, obviously.
Trejo is there for a short corner. It's bent in centrally, and that's a critical header away by Nodarse. Then the volley is blocked by Fuson. Rhode Island doing everything they can to try to clear this. Pasher glides past Rovira, caught up to by Quizera, but finds Turnbull. Turnbull, little give and go. Martinez wanted it on the edge of the 18-yard box. Turnbull didn't see him, and he's forced to go all the way back for Suarez.
Oh, Martinez was sitting in a fantastic pocket of space.
Well, eventually the attack fizzles out and Lee will clear it. Holstead has to follow up. Nearly gives it away to Martinez. Now gets it from Ibarra. Trying to lead Rhode Island up the other end. Quizera. Moving towards the 18-yard box. Quizera to the byline. It's a clean challenge from Suarez. Those two have tangled a couple of times tonight. Suarez on the yellow card does enough. And then it's one back here by Quizera. Fuson on the near side. Trying to cut it back. Suarez there again. And it's out for a Rhode Island corner brought to you by Chick-fil-A Attleboro. Player down for the Legion inside the 18-yard box as Rhode Island mull over this set piece. Well, not for the first time. Turnbull continuing to try to battle through a couple of bumps and bruises here. Ibarra takes charge over the corner with Quizera not far away. Ibarra's ball clipped in. It's into space there. It's headed, but it doesn't go towards goal. Somehow, Birmingham clear it. That was well executed by Rhode Island. Just no finishing touch as the ball goes out of play. Well, Miller Lite's a proud sponsor of RIFC. When it's game time, it's Miller time as this throw-in will be taken on the far side. Now Darcy strides over with 6 minutes in stoppage time left. Little flick from Fuson. Comes up short, but Birmingham can't get it clear on this far side. And then it's Rovira who gives the ball back. And then Karifa Yao tried to play it forward, picked off by Trejo. Another chance for Pasher. Doesn't have the numbers here, but then slides it through. Birmingham still have to be forced to go to the far side, and it's a moot point as eventually the offside flag goes up. Rhode Island again look to push it forward, still in search of another late winner here. Quizera making the run. He will keep this in play. Sanchez, first time ball in, looking for Dikwa. And then eventually Martinez and Pasher try to clear this. They do get it upfield. Referee allows play to continue here. And a switch onto this near side. Mabika has it covered for Rhode Island.
We're seeing that frenetic finish that we would expect from two teams that are clawing to pick up massive points.
Quizera's reverse ball here, not on the same terms with Fuson. So it's gonna be a goal kick here for Birmingham. we can tell you that if you want to know the secret to businesses that last, it's your people. Tap into your people power with Insperity, the trailblazers in human resources, because how you HR matters. There was a brief stoppage there from the referee. Delgado now sends everyone forward. Going to clear this into the Rhode Island half. The opening goal from Ronaldo Damas in the first half canceled out by Noah Fuson's late first half equalizer, and that's where we stand at the moment. As Birmingham misread this situation, Delgado forced to clear under the Fuson pressure. Mabika wins the header. Turnbull spinning away from Holstead. And then Mabika gets his head on it again. Quizera follows up, but Birmingham keep it moving with Turnbull. Enzo Martinez. Cutting infield for Trejo. First time ball out wide from Lazo. Trejo again. He's only scored once in the league this season, Danny Trejo. Suarez. Turnbull. Lovely ball for Pasher on the turn. Pasher's shot is off the post for a second time. Birmingham follows up, and the header is just wide. First Pasher, and then on the follow-up, the header misses the mark.
I take back everything I said just a few moments ago about Birmingham and Mark Briggs' side possibly just managing to see out this final 10 minutes, because they are 100% going after all 3 points. I mean, the involvement of Tyler Pasher here late, obviously that's been enhanced with the addition of Danny Trejo coming off the bench. But they have had some spectacular chances. Tyler Pasher hitting the post twice. The first time, that slight parry from Jackson Lee that pushes it to the post, and that one clearly beating Jackson Lee, but not the post.
Well, how many times have we said this in a Rhode Island home game this season? So many missed opportunities in front of goal tonight. Can someone grab some late glory? Mabika leaves it for Jackson Lee. Now, Rhode Island takes on Hartford on July 19th. Be there for the first derby here at Centerville Bank Stadium. Tickets are on sale now. And again, that game will also be nationally televised on CBS. Mike Watts, Devin Kerr, Marion Crowder will be in Rhode Island for that one. Getting towards stoppage time here. Game is crying out for a hero to emerge as stoppage time approaches. Lee up ahead. Birmingham's clearance away. He's just about gonna float out of play. Karifa Yao from Nodarse. Mabika. Lee under pressure from Pasher. Told there's going to be a pretty healthy chunk of stoppage time as Nodarse brings this forward. 5 added minutes still to go in Pawtucket. Cross coming in. Quizera tries to spin past Turnbull. Couldn't get anything definitive on it. Mabika diving to try to keep the header in the Birmingham end. Eventually the Legion get it forward for Pasher, who sprays it out to the far side here. Danny Trejo, 1v1 with Karifa Yao, who makes a huge tackle and gets it spot on.
And it needed to be, because when you have that 1v1 right there, you always tend to think the advantage goes to the attacker, because he has the ability to recognize not only where the goalkeeper is, but where the space is behind. Yao gets that 100% right. Big tackle there.
Up the other end, it's a Rhode Island free kick. 4 added minutes left. Ball in here is touched forward by Dequa. Suarez clears it away, out for a throw. Holstead to throw this into the 18-yard box. Long throw in towards the 6 is flicked high into the air. Birmingham not quite able to clear it initially here. Sanchez. First time ball in by Holstead is cleared away back towards the halfway line, and Trejo is in pursuit. A push and a chase past Rovira, who is able to recover and get in front of him. Trejo continues on, gets past the challenge. There's more white shirts queuing up here, but it's cut out by Holstead. Mabika then out-muscles Martinez. Quizera looks to move it ahead. Turnbull stops him. And then on the pirouette, it's given back to Turnbull. Then Quizera moves it forward. Handball appeals come in. It's won back by Lazo for the Legion. Still a player down for Birmingham. Play is still going on. Suarez bumped off it by Quizera. Free kick for Birmingham, and Quizera is going to see yellow. Another frantic back and forth sequence at the end here.
We're seeing this game go back and forth, back and forth. Oh, so we see late cleat catch. Sanchez. What intent and purpose we're seeing from both these teams. Such urgency. To your point just a few moments ago, looking to make that final play. You're looking to make that game-defining play where you don't have to share points tonight.
Pasher will take this. Just over a minute left. And now Mark Briggs and company are not happy that Quizera has maybe moved too close to the ball here. Of course, he's just been booked. Has to be a little bit careful, but referee says it's okay. Pasher's ball in his flick towards the near side of the 6. Martinez is going to let this roll out. It's a goal kick. And not for the first time tonight. Birmingham thought that was going to go out for a corner. They misread the situation, and that allows Rhode Island to reset here with seconds remaining. There was one of those in the first half at this end where Birmingham did not, well, they assumed that it was going to go their way as the ball rolled out. It did not, and it's happened to them again here in the definitive moments at the end. Martinez could have kept that in play. And now this could fall for a chance for Rhode Island, but Dequa is shepherded away by Roof. And Delgado gets on the end of it. There's another Legion player down. This will take us to the end of the 5, and then it's up to Abdou Njai after that to see how much longer we continue. And he just pointed to his watch as if to say that this will be factored in. Edwin Lazo is the player who's just getting back up onto his feet. For now, Birmingham are down to 10. Referee just allows Delgado to get the ball back, and he'll clear it. And all eyes are going to be on the referee. How much longer will this be allowed to continue on? Rhode Island again trying to feather this forward for Dequa's touch was a little bit too firm. But play continues here. Quizera picks up the pieces and is fouled. And actually, the referee might bring this back for the initial one on Dikwa. Oh, and a yellow card's come out here. Who is it towards? Looks like it's going to be towards A.J. Patterson for Birmingham.
See that foul there, and the referee allowing play to continue, but does end up bringing it back, and Patterson picking up the yellow. This has got to be one of the final moments of the match. So for Rhode Island, throw caution to the wind. You're just going to throw all the numbers at Birmingham, and for Birmingham, got to be secure, especially in your own box, because you just don't want something to pop up, hit you in the arm, hit you in the hand, a foul, anything like that. You need to be secured and detailed with what you do here.
Just about everybody on their feet here inside Centerville Bank Stadium, hoping for a late dose of drama. Ibarra's ball in, he's gonna miss everybody. It bounces out of play. And that is it, full time. Here at Centerville Bank Stadium, honors even between Rhode Island and Birmingham. 1 goal each, 1 point each as well. Frustrations for both sides, particularly for Rhode Island, who had a chance to win it multiple times late. So did the Legion, by the way. And the points are shared in the end.
You almost felt like it was a playoff atmosphere because you had two teams that featured the urgency and that high intensity that we were expecting. And then quality responses from both sides. I mean, they both asked some tough questions of each other and challenged each other in different ways. Quite an entertaining match, and obviously both teams were not able to find that final breakthrough, but have a lot to build off of as well.
First time the Legion have ever taken a point off of Rhode Island in the 4 meetings. Energy play of the game is presented by Rhode Island Energy, and it was this fabulous equalizer from Noah Fuson.
Yeah, the awareness by Albert Dikwa, and then the quality to just knock this ball down. And then Noah Fuson takes care of the rest, just wraps this left-footed finish around Fernando Delgado.
And tonight's Save of the Game is brought to you by Centerville Bank. Make progress towards your goals with Centerville Bank, official bank partner of RIFC. I mean, how many times did Jackson Lee come up with the goods tonight?
Yeah, I was going to say, earlier in this second half, that big one off the set piece, that was a huge save at the time, but none bigger than that one right there. Tyler Pasher having a good look at goal. Jackson Lee getting a touch to it right there.
Really highlighted the big opportunities down the stretch, and it finishes 1 each between Rhode Island and Birmingham. We'll step aside for a moment and wrap it up next.
You may think the nicest moments happen once you've arrived at your destination. At Breeze, we think they happen all along the way.
Yeah, let me grab that for you.
That was so nice.
Whether you're kicking back in Breeze Ascent or just enjoying time together in family seating, we take creating nice moments seriously, so you're ready for the rest of the journey ahead. When it's all over, the nicest moment might just be planning your next trip. Breeze. Seriously nice.
Progress. It's what we strive for, what we sacrifice for. It's about putting in the work. Early mornings, late nights, all in the pursuit of something greater. It's what moves us forward, what unites us. Because progress is more than a goal. It's the journey, the people who stand beside us, and the right partner. Centerville Bank, the official bank of Rhode Island FC. Progress on purpose.
At Ortho Rhode Island, we've built the future of orthopedic care around an important foundation, you. Our experienced surgeons and specialists offer the full spectrum of orthopedic care with leading-edge treatments and technology and a one-of-a-kind patient experience. From diagnosis to outpatient surgery, physical and occupational therapy, acute injury care, and advanced imaging, we make you the cornerstone of innovative care. To learn more or schedule an appointment, visit orthopedicsri.com.
Tonight's final score is presented by High Bar Physical Therapy, the official physical therapy partner of RIFC. Visit highbarhealth.com today to begin your journey to feeling better, moving freely, and living fully. Sean St. Jacques, Eric Dobransky, your entire crew back here with you. The point.
For them going to the second half to go get the game winner, but they just couldn't find it.
I think the one thing from the full-time stats that will certainly disappoint Rhode Island, they didn't add on to shots on target in the second half, and that ends up what leaves them with just a point.
That's a great point. I think we talk about some of those non-negotiables, obviously the pace, the tempo, like that. You got to take those 6 shots and you got to find some other opportunities to put some on target.
And at least as we leave air here, it looks like Rhode Island has dropped from 8th to 9th in the Eastern Conference of the USL Championship. So now both of these teams are currently not in a playoff spot as it stands right now. So the plot thickens in the Eastern Conference of the USL Championship. Damas's goal canceled out by Noah Fuson. Nothing more after that on the score sheet here during this 4th of July weekend. For Eric Dobransky and our entire crew, Sean St. Jacques saying so long from Pawtucket. 1-1 is the final score. Enjoy the rest of your holiday weekend.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.